I've been doing simple one-shot builds for all of the characters in Clair Obscur Expedition 33, giving them both screen clearing and single target solutions that can be done solo or in a party dynamic. There are 3 very nice Verso builds spread across 3 separate videos that I wanted to stitch together and compile over here, so you've got them all in one place and you can compare them back to back. If you've caught any of my other Expedition 33 videos, you may have noticed that this is on a brand new second channel. It would be a massive help to me getting it into the YouTube partner program by simply just watching the video through, and if you enjoy it, dropping a sub as well. And with that said, let's dive into the builds. The build revolves heavily around the weapon, priming you for optimal skill usage with great synergy, letting you start the battle jumping right in and keeping it super simple. The weapon of choice is the wonderful and often overlooked Blowdam, which you can acquire by defeating the Chromatic Reaper cultist, found on the island that's kind of wrapped around by a hook of mountains and blocked by coral reefs northeast of the coastal cave. Once you have it obtained, you'll see that it's a pretty neat weapon, boasting pretty solid base power compared to his other swords, light elemental, which doesn't really play much of a part, and a very important set of bonus skills which have very high synergy with the build. The level 4 ability changes Verso's perfection ranks to now instead be based on his current health totals, gaining 1 rank for every 20% of missing HP. You can see where this is going. By putting him at 1 health at the start of the fight, we're going to go straight to S rank, with Blowdam's level 10 ability bringing in even more synergy, giving us 20% increased light damage with skills, which for Phantom Stars is going to be very useful indeed. And lastly, the level 20 ability to give us +1 AP on ranking up is neither here nor there. As ever, the attributes are very self-explanatory, with the weapon's primary stat scaling being agility and secondary stat scaling being defense. We'll allocate our attribute points into might, agility and defense respectively. The skill setup is super straightforward, with the whole build revolving around one skill, the fantastic Phantom Stars, dealing extreme light damage to all enemies over 5 hits. It has the capacity to break, costing all 9 AP but reduced down to 5 AP when at S rank, which we will be. The rest of your skills are completely at your discretion. You can take Berserk Slash as a backup just in case one or more of the enemies absorb or nullify light damage, and given that it deals physical damage, not your weapons element, it's a pretty good option. Not only that, but it is actually tremendously powerful. You can make a whole build around this, given the synergy of being at 1 HP. Onto the Pictos we're going to be using. As I'm approaching this from the perspective of a solo build, I'm not going to go for 100% crit rate or high speed particularly. Instead, I'm going to double dip and equip Pictos, giving me some of the very high cost Luminas that I want to use. Here I've gone for Survivor, worth 20 Lumina points, Energy Master costing 40, and Cheetah costing 40 as well, giving us 100 free Lumina points to play around with the rest of our build, which we can go and do now. Let's break down the setup of all of the Luminas here. With Accelerating Last Stand and Empowering Last Stand, we're going to give ourselves Auto Rush and Auto Powerful, combined with Energizing Rush and Energizing Powerful, plus Energizing Turn Energy Master. This takes care of our AP generation from the get-go. It's also very important that we use Auto Death alongside Survivor, which is one of the Pictos we had equipped, to leave us on 1 HP, activating Blowdam's ability, bringing us up to S rank. Easy peasy, no fuss. First Strike will ensure that we'll play first, even if our speed isn't high enough. Cheetah, another one of the equipped Pictos, is going to let us play twice in a row. Very useful for if you need to do 2 lots of Phantom Stars to get the job done. And the rest are all damage increasing Luminas, as many as you have, including even the option, if you wish to do so, to fire out some free aim shots, try and get a burn stack, maybe a mark. You've got the option available, you don't have to. You may instead be more interested in At Death's Door, Confident Fighter, Glass Cannon, Greater Powerful, Immaculate, In Medias Res with Powerful Shield, Shield Affinity solidifying, Inverted Affinity, Solo Fighter, Tainted. Given the cumulative nature of the damage multipliers, each and every single one you have is super beneficial. However, if you are missing 1 or 2, do not worry, it's not the end of the world. Likewise with not being level 99 or not having a level 33 weapon, it is far more important that you understand the principles behind the build than having every single element displayed here per se. And all that's left is for us to put it all together and take it for a spin. Upon starting a battle, Verso will be bukakied by a plethora of damage increasing luminous, including setting his HP to 1, which will automatically put him up to rank S due to the Blowdamn's weapon ability. We will be playing first and we have all of the AP that we need. Head over to skills and unleash Phantom Stars, dealing extreme light damage to all enemies over 5 hits. This is going to wipe the screen of even the most powerful of enemies in the game. If you need to take another turn, you can do so and use another Phantom Stars, ensuring that you bring down absolute annihilation. There are very few opponents that can withstand this. Despite being so simple, it is super effective. If you need a little bit of extra juice, you can use some of your free aim shots to stack some burn, deal some additional damage, maybe get a mark out as well for the first hit of Phantom Stars to do a bit more. It's a very solid build. It'll even trivialize Painted Love if you use it properly. The main and probably only caveat of the build is that you are dealing light damage. In those cases, it is helpful to have a contingency skill like Berserk Slash, but given the whole build revolves around light damage by the light damage character, if you're in an area where you keep facing opponents absorbing or nullifying light, just use someone else. And there you have my super simple, updated, perfected one-turn Verso build. Unleashes absolute devastation with Phantom Stars despite being so straightforward. Unpainting your opponents as easy as 1, 2, 3, woo-wee, mon ami. This build revolves heavily around the weapon as well as your actual Luminous setup, piling an obscene amount of burn stacks onto the enemy so that they burn to a crisp, if they even make it that far and do not get freedomed to death. The weapon of choice here being the phenomenal Corpesso sword, which can be acquired in the Dark Shores from the first set of Noirs, and there are some other places you can pick it up at different levels, but this is a really easy spot to grab it, and actually has one of the highest base power ratings out of all of the swords, only being beaten out by a small amount by 3 joint first places. The first and the third bonus abilities are what we're really keen on here, although all 3 are useful. The level 4 ability applies 2 stacks of burn per rank per base attack, starting at 2 stacks at rank D, an additional 2, so 4 at rank C, 6 at rank B, 8 at rank A, and finally 10 at rank S. The level 10 ability gives us +1 AP on rank up, which is going to aid in our AP generation, which you'll see is going to be a very important part of the build as well. And lastly, the level 20 ability, which is going to increase burn damage by 50% per rank, up to 300% on rank S, which is all rather spicy. Your attributes are really straightforward and self-explanatory. It scales primarily with agility and secondarily with vitality, that you're going to be speccing in respectively to might, agility, and vitality. For the Pictos, I'm going to suggest these specific ones which are part of the build, and although it would be nice to get our speed higher, the Lumina cost is already really high, so if you can double up with your Pictos, that's going to be super helpful. I went for Combo Attack 3, which does give us a nice boost to speed, and is a 30-point Lumina, Energy Master a 40-point Lumina, and Cheetah another 40-point Lumina, which also gives us a small speed boost. We're not actually going to be using skills at all in this setup, it's all free aim and attacking. Take your favorite set of skills, maybe follow up is going to be pretty useful to have on board, and perhaps anything dealing physical or non-weapon elemental damage. And last but not least, onto the actual Lumina setup. I've done this with 299 Lumina points. If you don't have that many or don't want to get that many, that's fine. Just drop some of the more expensive damage boosting skills like the ones around shields, and whatever else you need to. We'll immediately get auto powerful and auto rush through empowering last stand and accelerating last stand, as we'll be doing this solo. That combined with energizing powerful, energizing rush, and energy master are going to be super helpful for our AP generation. We'll also be taking energizing shots, as free aiming is going to be a very big part of the setup. Lots of abilities around shots like marking shots, powerful shots, augmented aim, burning shots, accelerating shots. All of these are going to be helpful to deal more damage and to generate more AP, so that you're able to keep doing free aim shots for longer. Combo attack 1, 2, and 3 are going to be essential, so that your base attack is hitting 4 times, as this will be our primary vehicle for stacking burn on the enemy. Double burn is also absolutely essential, which does exactly what it says. It's going to double all of the burn stacks that you apply, and the rest is increasing our damage as high as we can do. Things like exposing attack, greater powerful, glass cannon, immaculate, in medias res with powerful shield, shield affinity solidifying, inverted Tainted Affinity, Tainted, Versatile, anything and everything that you have. But as always, if you don't have them all, it is not the end of the world. It is far more important that you understand the principles behind the build than necessarily using every single Lumina per se. And all that's left is for us to put it all together and take it for a spin. Upon starting a battle, you are going to get bukaki'd by a plethora of Lumina abilities, stuffing all of those buffs that we've equipped down your throat from the get-go. And the first thing that you're going to do is go straight over to your free aim stance and proceed to express your freedoms against the enemy. All of these shots are going to deal damage and very importantly help to increase your rank, getting your perfection up through from rank D all the way up to rank S. And the shots will deal progressively more damage as we increase through the ranks, as they of course provide a damage multiplier to Verso, making the shots portion of this setup alone enough to take down some of the strongest enemies in the game. Many of the AP generation Luminas are single use per turn, such as Rewarding Mark, Energizing Rush, Energizing Powerful, so you're not going to be able to infinitely shoot. However, you can constantly keep proccing energizing shots, so if you're super lucky, that alongside Energy Master will allow you to keep free aiming away. Many of your opponents will have a weak point where they take additional damage. I'm not talking about the single use weak points. You'll notice that headshots on many of the enemies do a lot more damage, so if you do want to slow it down and just aim your shots, that's absolutely fine. You will get significantly more damage out. Once you have expended all of your AP for that turn, hopefully you'll be at rank S. Chances are you'll probably be high rank A. You're going to do a base attack. With our 3 combo attack Luminas, you are going to hit 4 times, dealing 4 stacks of burn per rank, as we have double burn equipped, which at rank A is going to be 16 stacks per hit, and we're hitting 4 times, adding on a cheeky 64 flames. If you have exposing attack, you'll also be applying defenseless here, so when we go into our next turn to rinse and repeat, all of the damage is going to be even higher. Not to mention, we're going to be going straight into S rank super easily, especially after those basic attacks. Do the same thing, expend all of your AP with your free aim shots. You can just rapid fire them, or if they do have a weak point like a head, do aim for the head for more damage. Wrap up the turn with another basic attack for 4 hits. This time we're at S rank, so it's going to be 20 burn per hit for a whopping 80 stacks of burn. Now, if your opponent's even still alive at this stage, because many won't be, you just let them take their turn and watch the burn take hold. It is very strong and will deal an absolute ton of damage. Don't forget the level 20 ability on the Clair Obscur is dealing 300% burn damage at rank S, so these poor baddies don't have a chance. They're getting max crisp air fried. This build will see the most benefit up against a single target, or special circumstances like Painted Love. That works pretty well too, but it does absolutely work with multiple enemies, which is most of the fights that you'll deal with in this game. Just be mindful of how you're spreading your damage with your free aim shots versus which enemy that you're using your base attacks on, because if you're just going to finish off an opponent with your base attack, all those burn stacks are going to waste, whereas if you do finish them off with your free aim shots, that's absolutely fine. It's just a vehicle to increase your perfection rank. There's only really one caveat with this build, and it's a pretty big one. The Clair Obscur deals fire elemental damage. All of your free aim shots and basic attacks will also deal that fire elemental damage. Up against opponents that are merely resistant to fire, this doesn't really matter, but if they nullify or absorb it, you're in trouble. It breaks the build. Here's where your skills as a backup contingency plan come into play, specifically those dealing light damage or physical damage, anything but the weapon's own element. Perhaps skills like Phantom Stars or Follow Up is a great choice after all those free aim shots, maybe Berserk Slash. But if you happen to be in an area where a lot of the enemies are nullifying or absorbing fire, maybe don't use this build for that section, take someone else, or your regular party dynamics, you know, without specific builds per se. But there you have it, your absolutely crazy super burn stacking build with Verso and the Clair Obscur sword. It's crazy, very, very powerful, obliterates basically everything. Go and embrace the Pyromaniac within, as easy as 1, 2, 3, woo-wee, mon ami. This build, like many others, revolves heavily around the weapon, blasting the opponent with very high damage void shots, massively chunking their HP totals away before we absolutely devastate them with a powerful follow-up. The weapon of choice is the hugely slept on Nosaram, which can be purchased from the gestural merchant Grauer in Renoir's drafts after you beat him in a fight to unlock all of the secret items available in his shop. boasting very good upper bracket base power, physical elemental, which is very important, and some really strong bonuses we're going to take advantage of with this free aim setup. The level 4 ability gives us double perfection gained on our free aim shots, so we'll be able to get to S rank super quickly and deal significantly more damage with all the shots, as we'll be going through the ranks twice as fast. The level 10 ability allows each of the free aim shots to break 2 shields instead of 1, which is neither here nor there, we're not really fussed about that. And the level 20 ability giving us 50% increased free aim damage, which is going to be absolutely huge. As ever, your attributes are very self-explanatory. The weapon primarily scales off agility and secondarily off luck, which you can allocate your attribute points into respectively for optimal damage. In terms of our skill setup, there is only really one that we are paying attention to, which is the fantastic follow-up skill, dealing medium single target light damage over 1 hit, increasing in damage for each free aim shot done this turn, up to 10 times prior to using it, costing 5 AP but reducing the cost down to 2 AP at S rank. Given how many free aim shots we're going to be doing, this is going to absolutely bang. You can also take Ascending Assault as a backup skill, which deals low single target damage over 1 hit, but uses the weapons element, which in our case is physical, but we're going to be turning that into void, also costing 2 AP at rank S, but really shouldn't be something that we need to use at all. For our Pictos, we're going to be going for high Lumina cost abilities, helping us to be more efficient with our Lumina points. I've gone for Double Mark, a 20-point Lumina, Energy Master, a 40-point Lumina, and Cheetah, another 40-point Lumina, instantly cutting out 100 Lumina points from the build. Feel free to copy these like for like, or if you spot anything slightly more efficient for the same amount of points, which maybe gives you more speed, feel free to use that instead. And finally, for the really juicy part, all of our Luminas. This is from a solo perspective. If you want to use it in a party, just swap out some of the corresponding skills. Accelerating Last Stand and Empowering Last Stand is going to start us off with Auto Powerful and Auto Rush. That will completely sort out our AP generation too, as Energizing Powerful, Energizing Rush, and Energy Master will take care of all of it. We'll be going for all sorts of shot-based Luminas here as well, like Augmented Aim, Accelerating Shots, Burning Shots, Marking Shots, Piercing Shot, and very importantly, Energizing Shots, which is going to be enormously impactful with keeping up the free aim machine gun, as many of the other AP generating tools like Rewarding Mark are single use per turn. Make sure you have Painter equipped, which will turn our physical damage into void damage, void being an element that no enemies are weak to, and all void damage completely bypasses all defenses. That's our AP generation and everything to make our shots really shine. All that's left are all the damage boosting Luminas. Setups like Auto Death and Survivor and At Death's Door, Burn Affinity with the burning shots, Confident Fighter, Greater Powerful, Blast Cannon, Immaculate, In Medias Res with Powerful Shield, Shield Affinity, Solidifying, Inverted Affinity, Last Stand critical to have 100% crit rate, very important. Anything and everything that you've got to increase the damage multiplier. As these gains are exponential, they are cumulative, they make a huge difference for each one that you can add on. However, if you do not have every single one, it is not the be all and end all, do not panic. Instead, use what you can. It is far more important that you understand the principles behind the build, rather than necessarily using every single one of these Luminas per se. You may not have space for Exposing Attack and Greater Defenseless, you don't have to use it. I put Breaking Attack and Breaking Shots in just for fun, just in case it comes up. It's not needed. And that's everything that we need for the build. The only thing left is for us to put it all together and put it into practice. Upon starting a battle, we'll get Bukaki'd with a Lumina cocktail of damage boosting skills, juicing us up for what's to come. We'll be going straight into the free aim stance, allowing us to exercise our freedoms against the enemy, pelting them with an unrelenting barrage of powerful Void Rain, converted from physical damage over to void damage using the Painter Lumina, allowing us to rapidly increase in perfection all the way through the ranks. More shots at higher ranks equals higher damage, placing burn stacks as we go to activate Burn Affinity, double marking the target for additional damage on a bunch of shots. It really is an incredible amount of damage in just the free aim portion alone. Many enemies do have a weak point you can aim for, and I don't just mean the single use weak points that are very obvious. Try going for for headshots, they tend to do a lot more damage. You're going to be able to keep up these shots for as long as you have AP after activating all of those single-use per turn AP generation tools. If you have exposing attack in your setup, you can just do a regular base attack here. For me, this was putting the greater defenseless debuff on the opponent. You don't have to, you can go straight into follow-up. This is more than enough to take down most opponents. Because of the cumulative damage multipliers, it is more effective to attack first if you're going to get greater defenseless and a mark on top. But double follow-up is really good as well. It's your turn again, do the exact same thing. Bring forth an all-consuming, inescapable deluge of void rain down upon your poor unsuspecting victim. And then once you've rattled through nearly all of your AP, you need to make sure that you leave 2. We're going to go into Verso skills and use follow-up, which remember is at maximum power after 10 free aim shots to just completely delete the enemy out of existence. This does a tremendous amount of damage, even more so if you've left a mark from your free aim shots, and will allow you to breeze through the hardest content in the game with ease. This setup is far more effective against a single target boss, rather than groups of enemies, which are the majority of opponents you do face in the game, but it can work with them too. You need a little bit of luck with how many shots you can get out, and ensure that you use your follow-ups wisely. The only caveat really is the opponent cannot absorb or nullify light damage for follow-up to work. Truthfully, it's not much of a caveat. Your void shots are doing so much damage anyway, that's going to take out nearly everything in the game. It's a solid build, you're going to be grand. And that is my Verso one-shot Nosaram Void Rain build. Exceptionally powerful and really unique. I don't think I've really seen anyone using a build with this weapon. Doesn't mean they haven't, of course people have, but I think it's pretty cool. Go send anything and everything into the abyss, into the shadow realm. As easy as 1, 2, 3, woo-wee, mon ami. I mentioned right at the beginning, but I've done one of these for each of the 5 characters. You may be interested in checking those out if you enjoyed this one. It's more of the same, really epic, mostly solo focused, whilst also having the malleability to apply these same core principles to a group dynamic. If you do enjoy my style of builds, I take a very similar approach to different games as well. Feel free to subscribe for more, but either way, until next time, for those who come after.